So the biggest question is your intake leaking leads? Are you bringing in enough leads, but your conversion rates are low? And this is the first thing that you can look at, right? How many leads came in this month? And then how many did we hire this month? And so at Matterflow Advisors, our goal is to just help law firms build the system that will start increasing your conversion rate without anyone doing more work. And in fact, in our world, we hope that people are doing less work and that your staff that's supporting this intake process is actually doing the work that's the most valuable, that they're doing the talking, the relating, the empathy, depending on the kind of law that you're in. So because we see ourselves this way, we see ourselves as partners in intake. I think you can go to the next. So why intake comes first? So you know this, but intake comes first because it is your revenue operations. It is where you are finding the clients, and it's where your revenue growth is going to happen. And so without fixing it, if you're just adding more marketing leads, as Patrick said, then you're just like gumming up a system that's not functioning already. And you may, of course, get a couple of extra leads that convert to hired because just it's a numbers game, and there might be the right connection with your intake staff or some other thing happened just right to get that client on board. But to see true growth consistently with the leads that you would get from constellation marketing, like you want to be able to handle those really well. So this strong system is faster response times. And I'm going to touch on this in a second. Well, I'll just say it now. So faster response times. We did this fun little study at Matterflow Advisors, and we were calling a specific practice area, but we went on their websites. We did a little case study. We went on a bunch of websites for attorneys in the estate planning area, and just tried to capture how many of them responded with any kind of automated response indicating that we had filled out their website form and or called their office. And that was less than 15% of those offices, like shockingly low. And because I'm in the business of helping law firms, I was kind of like scratching my head, like, this has got to be a joke. Like, how are they not doing this? But I realized that just because I'm an expert at this doesn't mean everybody knows about it. So like implementing these tools to get that faster response time is so important, and it can happen near instantaneously. So there's no reason not to, right? Somebody fills out a contact me form, you can fire off a text message instantly to say, hey, we heard you. We're so excited that you reached out. Somebody on our team will get back to you in the next couple of hours, right? And that gives your intake team some time, but also that potential customer is like, oh, wow, I feel tended to. I feel like my needs are going to get met with this agency or this firm, excuse me. So more qualified leads, right? If you can get more qualified leads, like what's the catch there? Well, qualifying them. Like that's one step that your intake team is doing. Is this lead somebody that you can serve? Do they need what your firm is the best at? And is your team able to communicate that with the client and get that information from them? And so having a standard way of doing that in your process makes more qualified leads come in. And then of course, you just simply will have a higher conversion rate. And I think that's really powerful to recognize that some of these really simple steps, like just a text message that they filled out the contact me form, is a fantastic way to start seeing these changes happen. And that requires the system. So before you plug in AI, you need a solid foundation. And I was just talking about this with my partner about how when you try to bring AI in, and I'm sure plenty of you are parents, but when you try to bring AI in, it's like, if you don't have a good system, it's like expecting an 11-year-old to do the job of your intake person. Like AI is incredibly smart. Like it can access an incredible amount of information, but that doesn't mean that it knows what you are wanting it to do. And so, yeah, we just don't want to, we want to make sure that we're not putting our foundation of AI on top of something that's not systematic. So yeah, AI amplifies our inefficiencies, but if you've got a good system, it really can amplify your actual results. And I'm not going to talk a ton about AI because I want you to understand that that's like once your intake system is down and you're like cruising through revenue growth, then you're like, oh, I wonder what other areas of my business I can fix with AI. So if intake is inconsistent, AI is going to amplify that 100%. And then if you're not able to train a human, then I don't know how on earth you'll be able to train AI to do it, because the training of that robot, if you will, requires that you understand explicitly the steps that you need it to take. And so when we talk about like just defining your process, that's a great place to start. Like, what are the outcomes we're hoping? What is the process that we're trying to put this tool into?